Good morning. We are small baling. Today is actually day 4 small baling on this 75 acre, it's 2 fields, 75 acres total. Just have the one small baler. And yeah, I've been baling on it for 4 days. If we'd have pushed it a little harder, I might have been able to do it in 3, but I'm trying to make nice, retail horse hay. So, waiting for dew to come in. Not going too long when the dew burns off, that sort of thing. So far, we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 small bales off this 75 acres, and I also big baled the outside rounds because it's just a lot easier that way, and that's where you're gonna have your weeds and whatnot, and in a big bale, people just don't really mind. So that kind of solved that problem. So we're going for about no less than 16 flakes and no more than 24 or so. These windrows are kind of variable. This field has a couple sand streaks in it. So you can see my flake counter here. So 2022 is like optimal, but we also would like to get done. But the guy picking up bales, the harrow bed driver, he doesn't want, you get less than 16, you start getting, real variable length. And then he's got to get in and out and mess with the bales on the wagon. So, we're trying to avoid that as best we can. I think my tractor just died. All right, we're back online. Excuse the hair. I forgot a hat this morning. I'm not sure what just happened with the tractor. It's got some sort of problem with the fuel system. We did replace the injection pump, and I think we did some injector work on it a few years back. The John Deere dealer did, but it's been kind of loping occasionally. This morning it hasn't done it, but it seems like it's sucking air somewhere, like it's got a hole in the fuel line. So I'm not sure what happened. It died. I cranked and it wouldn't start. I got out, was gonna pop the hood and mess with it, and then I just got in again and cranked on it and it fired up. So this is our last windrow. We're aiming for about 95 to 100 pound bales. There's a little scale back there. You'll see it go up here in a second, maybe. So when it touches the bottom of that white, they're about 102 pounds. So sometimes it barely moves it. Other times I'm going sky high, I'm just... So that's probably a 110 pound bale there. And then occasionally I'm getting 90s, So we're just doing the best we can. I don't love that thing. This is like my first real foray with this baler, so to speak. I baled some wheat hay with it a couple weeks ago. And those turned out okay. They were a little dry, and I didn't have my pressure set high enough, so the bales were real, just really light. They didn't want to squeeze. I mean, I got them in the barn, but they were kind of a pain in the ass. Excuse my French. So, anyway, that's kind of where we're at. I'll get out here in a second as soon as I finish, and I'll show you guys the bales. But I thought you might like to just watch the baler work. I'm into some light hay right here, so I'll just step on it. And this is a Massey Ferguson Heston 1843S. It's the same as a 4690S. They just rebadged it when Heston was acquired by Agco, and then they just folded it under to Kingdom Massey. So it's got its own engine on it, and then it has this control box here, and that controls all your functions, your hitch, your pickup. That's your throttle, your clutch, and then this is your bale density, your lights. That's the whole box. So you can actually pull these with a pickup or a Jeep. I've seen guys do, like, they'll take the back of a Jeep off and they'll mount like a ball in the middle of the frame somehow, and then they put a gooseneck hitch on these balers. This just has a trailer ball on it, like a 2 5/16 trailer ball. And that's what we pull it with. And the reason for that is that these balers, you know, especially if you have a smaller tractor, this tractor is about 90 horse, so you don't really feel it too much. And having it offset like that helps too. But if you're baling with it straight behind you and you're in a lighter tractor, any slop in the hitch, you're gonna feel it, because that plunger's, you know, ramming back and forth 90 times a minute or something like that. And so I just had a 13, so I just geared down a little bit. You know, I'm trying not to have that happen, but you know, it just happens. Especially, it's so variable. You know, I'll go from, if I would have maintained set speed, I'd go anywhere from 16 to 30 flakes in a bale. So I gotta, you know, kind of adjust my speed as I go, because like I said, this field's all fields are. I don't know about other places, but where we are, everything's variable. I don't have anything, you know, even as small as an acre that's consistent, you know. So but we're shooting. I haven't got out and stuck one in a minute, but this hay is really dry. If the moisture is a little high, it's all dew, and it'll just absorb. I'm not worried about it. This field got cut. Today's Sunday, and this field got cut on Sunday. So full drying days, it sat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday. It got raked Friday morning. So typically, if I were to big bale this, I would, depending on how dry the ground was and, you know, crop conditions, all that. But typically, I would go 3 full drying days and then rake it, and then I'll either bale it that day or it may have to sit 1 extra day. If the ground was wet when I cut, I'll typically wait 1 extra day before I rake it, and then I'll bale it the next day, because the top will be so much drier by that point. So, and right now it's taking about 10 minutes per windrow to go down the field and 10 minutes to go back up. This is super heavy hay though. This is, I don't know, somewhere up around 3-ton alfalfa, I would guess. This windrow isn't the heaviest one I've had. The other side of the field's a lot heavier soil. It's more of a clay loam, and that stuff was super heavy. So this road says 30. Occasionally when it ties, it'll miss the sensor, and so it'll actually just think it made 2 bales. So there's 23. Maybe it was 30, but I doubt it. This windrow hasn't changed that much. But you know, this flake counter actually works. I know a lot of guys, like, they have tons of trouble, and they play with them and play with them and play with them. I've been lucky so far. I mean, I've only baled like 85 acres with this thing, but it's a night and day difference from a Freeman, I'll tell you that. I mean, I know guys love the Freeman. They say they flake better. Maybe they do, but this is a lot more gentle on the hay. And I've only plugged it once, and that was because I wasn't paying attention. I was hauling butt. So, and what I'm gonna do right now is just, I'm done now, so I'm gonna idle this thing down as soon as I finish that row. And I'm just gonna go, first I'm gonna kick this over behind me here. And I'm gonna idle this baler down. Maybe not all the way, but part way. And I'm just gonna go clip up any scraps that we might have missed when we were raking. This field wasn't too bad. Well, let's get out. I'll show you guys the hay, and then there's the harrow bed guy. He's going right now too. He's been picking up all morning. So, all right, so we finished. And we're gonna come over here. I'll show you what the hay looks like. Got a phone call while I was filming that last little bit. So this is the hay from this morning that he's putting up right now. So nice green color. I mean, just gorgeous. Nice and dry too. These are a little shaggy, you know. Some of the stems are a little bigger. This is some of the stuff I baled like this first or second day. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. This is what I baled first. Yesterday, and it's just super nice hay. We'll go around and look at the other side, because this is I think this is the side that we're plunging on, and it does make a difference, believe it or not. The plunger side of the bale never looks as nice. Yeah, so you can see like these here just packed. Well, you can see all the leaf in the side of the bale even, you know. It is a little coarse, you know, just not dry or anything, just bigger stems. It got out there on days, but we had a chance of rain, and so I just waited to cut. This is what I baled last 2 mornings ago. I wanted to finish the field, and I kept going till about 8:30, and you can see that to this, you know, just like an hour's difference. And then the first morning I stopped because I had I made a video. I don't know if we uploaded it or not yet, but I had a twine finger. It kind of got like cockeyed, and it bent some stuff, I thought, but it got in the way again, and I couldn't figure it out. And you can see here I was talking about how, you know, not enough flakes in the bale. You kind of get, occasionally it'll stuff a big flake, like your last flake before you tie. And so if you're driving too fast, you know, if you're stuffing 2-inch flakes in your nodder trips, and then you stuff a 4-inch flake, or your nodder trip is set for 2-inch flakes and you're stuffing 4-inch flakes, you're gonna get a longer bale. So you could adjust your trip, but then if you're baling slow or light crop, that's going to be a separate issue. So you can see this is just some nice hay here. This is actually stuff I think I baled this morning, and I think he's just running out of room, so he's just putting them anywhere he can find now. Although I don't, because the pink twine's new. I don't see his tire tracks here, but that's definitely from this morning. So I'm not sure on that one. That's kind of baffling me. Anyway, oh, he made a new row. He made a 4th row here. So I had a few long bales this morning too, I guess. Driving too fast or something. These are better. When I first started up, I think I just had a few windrows that I was going too quick in. So anyway, that's the hay. It's nice hay. It's not the nicest hay I've ever put up in my life, but I think that's more just related to the fact that it was, you know, really super heavy, just a lot of tonnage. And I may have to take a little bit of a discount on it when I sell it, just to get rid of it, because it's not as pretty. But it is nice leafy hay. It'll flake, you know, horses will eat it really well. So we're gonna end it there. I'm gonna go home and help my wife with the kids. We all are sick. We all got stomach flu. My wife and our son got it first, and then yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I got sick, and then our daughter was fine, and then yesterday it hit her finally. So I'm gonna go home and help her out with the sick kids and see if we can survive another day.